Mini Thai constellations, glow-in-the-dark petunias, million-dollar roses, Roundup-resistant corn, and a variegated pothos caused by radiation? All of these are patented plants. Patents are a way to protect someone's invention from others copying it. But is a plant an invention? And how is that we can patent something that replicates itself? This is the story of plant patents. Are they a necessary evil, or are they simply
Monsanto invented
evil?
And then patented a genetic modification that enables...
Patents are meant to encourage research on new varieties of plants, and it allows for a timed protection for a return on your investment. In the US, it gives you 20 years. Many of our philodendrons were given to us by breeder Bob McCooley. He began hybridizing in Florida in the 1950s and took advantage of plant patent protections in the 70s, releasing Philodendron King of Spades, among many others. These plants were asexually propagated through cuttings and tissue culture. Then, if anyone propagates, sells, or uses any part of the plant without your consent, you can take legal action against them. America, land of the lawsuit. The work is protected just like in the same way that an artist like Taylor Swift copyrights her music. For instance, say you buy a flat of Alocasia Ivory Coast for 97 cents each from the Florida Tissue Culture Laboratory, Oglesby. You then grow the tray of plugs out and you find some corms. You would technically be breaking patent laws if you were to grow out those corms. The same goes for buyers purchasing those plants at a retail store. This exact patented Alocasia Ivory Coast is owned by Oglesby Plants International, and no one is allowed to reproduce this plant until 2033, when the patent expires. A patent owner can multiply their own plants, such as Red Congo Philodendron, as Oglesby does. But they can also license their plant to be grown by others. Costa Farms pays to grow some of their plants, and pays a license fee to the patent owners, such as the Black Raven ZZ plant. This is a patented plant that Costa Farms has the exclusive rights to produce in North America. It was originally called the ZZ Dawan, and it was developed by Hyok Jin Lee in Korea. Costa essentially pays for the rights to grow this plant for a set period of time, and sometimes that patent holder is just a researcher, a fellow plant nerd, but sometimes it's a multinational company. Costa also has the rights to exclusively produce what we typically call like a golden pothos, but they call this plant Pearls and Jade pothos. Plant patent number 21217. It's actually quite insane how they produced this plant. They subjected a bunch of marble queen pothos cuttings to gamma ray radiation from the radioactive material cobalt-60.
This blue glow in the water comes from radioactivity emitted from the cobalt-60. And notice the precautions.
This radioactive exposure then resulted in new genetic material being produced, and these cuttings were then propagated out and grown for about a year, according to the patent filing. Philodendron Brazil is another example of a patented common plant many of us have likely taken illegal propagations of. Though its patent expired in 2020, so no need to sweat. As this Redditor says, catch me if you can, plant cops. This was the top comment to a thread which showed an aggressive philodendron tag, which read, "This is a patented plant, so propagation is prohibited." Many jokes were made of the plant cops coming to knock down Node Proper's doors, and many mocked the patent holder for being a big business, or this being just a case of corporate greed. But another commenter did the research, and this philodendron Shangri-La was produced by an Australian individual, and he owns just one other plant patent. As the commenter points out, he likely makes pennies per plant sold, and if the plant takes off one day, maybe all of his years of hard work will be paid back. It would be nice to see another fellow plant hobbyist win. But outside of our little group of hobbyists, the plant patent world gets very dark and is a game of big business, dominated by pharmaceutical companies that also dominate the agricultural space. A world where the same corporations sell us the seed to grow our food, sell us the chemicals to treat the crops, then sell us the medicine to make us better. Everything changed in 1980 when a bacterium was deemed okay to be patented. Oddly enough, it's the same bacteria that's used by Neoplant's Power Drops to accompany their $130 Pothos, which is currently not genetically modified. This patent on life held up in the Supreme Court, and it would pave the way for utility patents to be given to sexually reproduced plants. Biotech company Monsanto took full advantage of this new field and released genetically modified Roundup-ready soybeans in 1996. Roundup is the brand name of glyphosate, which is an herbicide that kills the weeds around the crops that you actually want to grow. So essentially, the weeds would die back when you spray them, but your crops of food would be resistant to the herbicide, which is also sold by Monsanto. This was a massive change to how farming has historically worked. We swapped from a model of saving the seeds, an ancient farming practice, to a model of purchasing new seeds every year. And this seed saving was prohibited by the contracts signed by farmers. It was protected by patent infringement. In the early 2000s, Monsanto sued dozens of farmers for saving their seeds to plant next year, citing patent infringement. The multi-billion-dollar company received millions of dollars in judgment awards from farmers for patent infringement. Monsanto at the time held dozens of plant patents on soybean, corn, cotton, canola, and alfalfa. The Monsanto Technology Agreement states, if Monsanto reasonably believes that a grower has planted saved cottonseed containing a Monsanto genetic trait, Monsanto will request invoices or otherwise confirm that fields have been planted with newly purchased seed. If this information is not provided within 30 days, Monsanto may inspect and test all of the grower's fields to determine if saved cottonseed has been planted. This ruling was massively upheld again in the Supreme Court in 2013 when a farmer, Vernon Bowman, lost to the Monsanto company.
Monsanto invented and then patented a genetic modification. Monsanto will only sell Roundup Ready seed to farmers who sign a licensing agreement. What the farmer cannot do, according to the agreement, is save and replant the soybeans he harvests. When Monsanto discovered this practice, it sued Bowman for patent infringement. Accordingly, we affirm the Federal Circuit. Our opinion is unanimous.
In 2018, after settling billions of dollars in lawsuits around the dangers and harmful effects of Roundup, Monsanto would be acquired by Bayer, the German pharmaceuticals company, for over $60 billion. Now you can buy aspirin, Roundup herbicide, and your GMO alfalfa seeds from the same company. But it's not all bad. Patents can be incredibly important for farmers. In 1914, an apple tree company, the Stark brothers, got word of a yellow apple-producing tree from a fellow farmer in West Virginia. After a journey across the country, they discovered what would become known as the Golden Delicious apple. They purchased the tree from the farmer, and this was such a popular apple tree that they put a 30 by 30 locked steel cage built around it to protect this tree from propagations being stolen from it. This was the time before patent laws. The Stark brothers' Golden Delicious yellow apple would go on to parent many other important varieties of apple, such as the Gala, the Pink Lady, Honeycrisp, among many, many others. Perhaps not nearly as important as the Yellow Delicious apple, the cannabis world has recently left their mark on plant patents, naming a hybridized plant through the United States Patent and Trademark Office, Rainbow Gummies, which was approved in 2020 as a new, distinct, and has identifiable characteristics to distinguish it from other plants, apparently. Patented plants also need to grow uniformly and have cuttings of the plants grow true to type, meaning that they look like their mother. And it's not only big companies patenting plants. Our Instagram and YouTube friend, All the Plant Babies, has successfully patented her own alocasia called Green Unicorn.
Which is Alocasia aslanii crossed with Alocasia beginda dragon scale.
I believe the clones are multiplied in tissue culture and they are grown out for sale. You can buy this plant online and she likely receives some of the proceeds for the sale of it. This plant will be protected until 2042. A huge congrats to Lindsay on this accomplishment. It is surprising though how little a plant can differ from existing plants in order to receive a patent. One such case of this is some of the philodendron being grown out by R&D nurseries in Florida, and they are claiming to have multiple patent pendings for plants such as white berry philodendron, which looks to be a slight variation on white knight, as well as their white ice philodendron, which just looks to be a high variegation white princess philodendron. Some of these patents are still pending, and this is interesting to see what will happen here because they seem to be a massive big box store grower, primarily starting their material from tissue culture, where they find these tissue culture spores. Another patented variety that has come out of tissue culture is the one I'm most excited for, which are the miniature Monstera Thai Constellation called Hola. This is a squatty version of the Thai-con being developed in Thailand. It's from one of the most predominant tissue culture labs in Thailand growing the Thai Constellation, so it's pretty cool to see them develop this. It's a cute little version of its bigger mother. One might call it the runt, but because of its short petioles and small stature, it was approved this year by the US as a patented plant. A true small form Thai Constellation. So, are plant patents just a necessary evil of our industry? I'll let you decide that. But patenting nature as your own invention is for sure odd. But you can definitely be sure that patents aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.